Now, let me guess. The man of the house needs a second car so the little lady can go to the garden club while he plays gin rummy with the boys, huh?
Oh, actually, we need a car so we can go rock climbing.
Rock climbing? Why would anybody go climb a rock?
We have to think about it.
Yeah, what's there to think about? I mean, you told me you liked it. You asked me 10,000 questions. I answered every single one of them. You drove it. You love it. What more do you need to know?
We gotta sell 400 cars. How am I gonna sell 400 cars?
Make them drive the car. Make them touch it, feel it, smell it. Get them excited. When they're excited, they pay more.
You're thinking, can I afford to buy a car like this? Huh? Am I right? Seriously, Stan, you can't afford not to buy a car like this, and I'm going to make it easy on you.
OUD, the Real Car Market Talk using Real Car Market Data podcast. I'm global Porsche market expert Mark Smith, and along with my time-altered ego Flockbaugh, you have entered the over-under drive. I've contributed to the building of some of the biggest collections in the world, and now I'm bringing you the inside market know-how that I use in my live auction hammer price forecasts, and which I have used to assist the world's greatest collectors and traders in assessing their portfolios. I'm excited to deliver to Over Under Drive the state-of-the-art P9 registry toolkit I apply in the daily marketplace to Porsche GT Turbo and limited editions. OUD represents real market opinions, and it drills down like no one else can. There's no BS, and there's no wasted tire kicking. So let's get started. It's time to drive. Welcome to OUD with your host, Flockball. Fire up the OUD! So P9 Registry VID 620507, very nice place to start. Cobalt blue, 1 of 8 built with black full leather and tip. A 2007 997.1 Turbo Coupe with only 12,000 miles. Now, those miles are interesting. But then a quick look at the P9 vehicle page starts a red flag. It's been with the same dealer for coming up on a year now, and the price has dropped from $125K to under $105K. But then the average market price for the same car is $80K with 33,000 miles. Time to look at the auto check. 3 owners, not unusual, no accidents. So okay, a quick check of the Googs, and the car has been advertised all over the place and no sale. Well, there's some things you know, there's some things you don't know, and there's some things you should know. When you build up a car to add some horsepower, you're probably going to hurt the value a bit in the long run. But when you build a time bomb, there may be no long run. And there may be not too many buyers ready to take on your ride. You see, this one is a 1,000 horsepower piston rattling time bomb. Yes, that's correct. And to the credit of the seller, he's honest about it right up front. Upgraded by JBE Racing at a cost of $75K to produce over 1,000 horsepower. Ooh. There are videos of the car being put through its paces up against other fire breathers. Not sure that's a selling point, but what's the right price? Probably should be the cost of the mods that could never be justified in the first place. So currently this one is over. If you are buying or selling or just tire kicking a high-end Porsche, you must subscribe to P9 Premium. There are so many resources available through P9 Premium that it's really hard to describe. Go to the P9 Registry feature log and you'll find all the latest updates, the time you'll save, the mistakes you won't make, the information you will have access to. It's all available right there, nowhere else. You cannot even begin to compare the value to the price of admission. The 2011 997 GT2 RS is a limited series car with only 500 built for worldwide. It's a cool car, and in a few seconds the P9 search app tells us that only 142 were built for North America. P9 VID 733000, our first inspection lives up to that cool. This one is GT Silver Metallic, around 10% of the North America built. Its MSRP is $250K, around $10K under average. Option list is pretty standard. Not a carbon fiber fender car. Has a little under 15K miles, while the average market is 9.5K. But still, asking $275K for it seems low when the market is a little over $330K. That's almost a $60K discount to market. There was a time not too long ago when these cars commanded $100,000 more than today. Experian Auto Check shows 2 owners and no apparent accidents. But the seller is straight up and posts the overspeed events. That's Porsche speak for over revs. A screenshot from the ECU shows there are overspeed events right up to range 5. Ouch! So a little known secret on the P9 Reg site is a handy Porsche overspeed event calculator in the support section. It lists the event ranges, you put in the ECU readout numbers, it tells you what's what, the overspeed events in seconds, and estimated total revs in the range, and there's a lot of other good factory info there too about what it all means. Range 1 and 2, not that important. Now Porsche won't touch the car after range 3, so we'll assume away a range 3 and below, and focus on range 4 and 5. Now, the important factor is how many operating hours ago the events occurred. The car has 448 total operating hours, and the last range 4 event was at 440 hours, and the last range 5 event was at 416 hours. Porsche, as a rule, says 50 operating hours from an event is something of an all clear. That is, if there's damage, you're going to know about it. But this one, it's only 8 hours from range 4 and 32 hours from range 5. It's too soon. What to say? It's been on the market for a while. So have a lot of things, but this one probably scares people away. Factor in $50K, possible repairs, discount the $330K average market price, since you're at $280K on a $275K ask. But then you have a story car, and that requires more discount. So at $275K, this one is over. Hey, OUD listeners, a quick reminder. You can find the cars being discussed on this podcast on our Instagram at OverUnderdrive and on our YouTube channel. Please subscribe to both. And if you join as a P9 Premium member, you get full access to all the data used by OverUnderdrive to analyze specific cars on this podcast and their market comps. With daily updates on over 40,000 Porsches, there is no comp for P9 Registry. There's nothing wrong with some aftermarket stylies, but it's always tough to resell your personal dream, especially for what you put in it. Now here's a 2014 991.1 Turbo S Coupe. P9 VID 522176 for those who want to look. It's black with natural leather in espresso and cognac, only 4 for North America in this combo. Slightly lower than average MSRP of $195K and about $7K lower than average miles at $17K. But while the market is 35% below MSRP, this one is listed at its MSRP. Now that's a bit odd. The Experian Auto Check report says it's had 5 owners. Now that's also odd for a 2014 with low miles. The P9 Spider history data shows the same car for sale in 2016 with only 159K ask and only 10.5K miles. So add some miles, a couple of years, and the price goes up 35K? So back to the aftermarket thing. As far back as 2016, the car was listed with TechArt matte carbon fiber rear wing, front spoiler, rear diffuser, side air inlets, mirrors, side skirts, TechArt exhaust with black tips, and HRE 21-inch P103 wheels finished in a matte bronze. Hey, that's the same car as today. Well, look, most things depreciate, so this one is clearly over. You can find the cars being discussed on this podcast on our Instagram at OverUnderdrive and on our YouTube channel. Please subscribe to both. And if you subscribe to P9 Premium, you get full access to all the data used by OverUnderdrive to analyze specific cars on this podcast and their market comps. Now, a paint to sample 997 first gen turbo cabriolet is pretty unusual, especially in RS Orange, a very 997.1 color. Only 12 non-metallic PTS turbo cabs were delivered to North America. P9 VID 645570 is pretty loaded with an MSRP 20K over the average at 172K. Lots of factory carbon fiber bits, including steering wheel, has deviated stitching, seat backs in leather, black top, black wheels added. Now the look is not for everyone, but for those who like it, it's hard to find. Asking $50K in a market where the average ask is $72K makes it seem like quite a bargain. While the market average is 53% below MSRP, this one is 71% below MSRP. We gotta go deeper here. almost 90K miles. It's double the market average, so this one was driven. But with the tip, miles shouldn't be too wearing if it was just cruised during its life exclusively in Florida. But that many miles does put wear on the inside, and this one has that. The Spider first picked this one up in late 2019, and it's been in a Mitsubishi dealer ever since. Mitsubishi? I'm wondering how it got there. Anyway, it doesn't appear to have any accidents. It's just been driven. It needs a lot of TLC, but otherwise deserves better than life among the Outlanders and Mirages filling the lot. If one's looking for an unusual driver, this one is under. Well, that's all, folks. Over Under Drive is done for this week. Check in next week for a fresh batch of OUD, where we keep everyone honest with real market fresh takes. Find out what models we are thinking about and the cars that caught our eye on every new OUD podcast. Subscribe where you get them. And be sure to tell them you heard it on OUD. We're out.
This isn't some high-tech sports car. Tell you the truth, it doesn't even handle that great.
Now let me guess. The man of the house needs a second car so the little lady can go to the garden club while he plays gin rummy with the boys, huh?
Oh, actually, we need a car so we can go rock climbing.
Rock climbing? Why would anybody go climb a rock?